Director NGRI, Shri Utpal, General Manager, Strategic Electronics Division, ECIL. Srimati Meena, Ravindran, Outstanding Scientist, NFC. Thank you, ma'am. Dr. P. Sudershan, Reddy, very famous Paediatrician. He's on his way. Professor MGPL, Narayana. Dr. S.C. Tripathi, Deputy Director General Regional Mission at GSI. Dr. J.V.S. Sagar, Outstanding Scientist, DRDL. Our Director, Dr. B.T. Sidharth.
What can we do to catch up? And Mr. Prof will be reading the names, and then I request the panelists to speak.
So a quick call out of a little of how we are going to do the panel discussion. So we are not only discussing about how science is going on in both the countries, but also the demographics, all the strategies and policies, and how governments are supporting, and all other aspects which can and may and have influenced science and policy. So I kindly request my panelists to be a little stringent with time. So we have 10 minutes per person, because then we will have to eventually summarize everything. So first we go on with you, one person at a time, 10 minutes, and then we come back to summarize what we just talked about. I kindly request Srimati Meena Ravindran to start the panel discussion.
Okay, I was hoping to be somewhere in the lower number, so that I know how the things are being put forward.
Ladies first, always.
Thank you. That's nice. It still goes on, though the ladies themselves feel they shouldn't be put first anymore. We want to be equal. Yeah. Anyway, before that, I would like to ask Dr. Sidharth, actually, how are we, like, we will be talking, and then will there be any participation from the
Yes.
audience? That is the first question. Second question is, what kind of audience are we looking at? What is their
So
background?
the teachers, they're educators.
Okay.
We don't have to tone ourselves down.
No, that's okay. But it's good to know that most of them are teachers, right? Are they also from Birla Plant Science Center?
From different schools.
Oh, okay. So this consists of mostly teachers and teaching profession. That's nice to know, because that's what I wanted to talk about first. Just a couple of days ago, I was attending some other conferences. There was this Indian Women Scientists Association was conducting a conference till yesterday. I don't know how many of you are aware of it. It was going on at National Institute of Nutrition. So I attended on the first day, because I couldn't attend the last 2 days. And a lot of young engineers and science students were also there, and very senior ladies who worked in the science field also were there. So the topic there was, like they were talking of many things, but one takeaway was that we are not getting enough students into the science courses. I'm sure this is a hot topic most of the teaching fraternity also, and we also find it very sad but true that we don't get pure science students. It is diminishing and still going on in that track. So I think we should concentrate first on how to improve the science education, how to make it more attractive for students. Yes, I know nowadays it is the money that speaks, and where the money is, all the attention is towards that. So now talking of where India and China, I should come back to the topic for today. So India and China, how are we faring? Do we know actually what's happening at the grassroots levels in China? It's difficult to know, because the media doesn't talk about what happens right down there. But it does show us what progress is being made by them. So it is in technology areas, we do know, I mean, through all sorts of media, we come to know how many strides they are making in technologies, in new technologies, or bringing fresh or transferring technologies from where they are. You know, I can share you something very personal. Like my children are there in the US and they stay in various places in the US. So they are surrounded by communities, you know, and so they find a lot of Chinese and Asian communities staying all around them. What do? They all work in software companies or some such industries, but they transfer back the technology to their country. They invest in some start encouraging and making a push towards science and technology. I don't know about pure science again, because when we talk of science, we have to touch upon biosciences. It's not only chemistry or branches of chemistry or physics and its branches, biology, medicine, various other forms of science. So I don't know how much they are concentrating on those, but we have evidence in the form of new technologies coming up, developments, advances, we do see. So it appears that they have some successful model going on there. Now, what do we do in our country? As I said, it starts with the education part. We need to attract students into science. So, what can we do? Can we have some sort of project-oriented learning in our schools? Can we have more do-it-yourself projects, even at primary level? And can we make it so interesting for the children that right there, right at the primary level, can we start them showing more interest towards these areas? I think the teachers and the schools should look at this kind of requirement. Why should only the government think of it? Why can't each school think of it? Why can't the schools deviate a bit from the curriculum? Yeah, of course you have to follow the curriculum, there is very less time and very focused path is laid out for you, and you have to finish these exams, these courses. This is the only time you have. Students go away to attend tuitions and things like that. I know there are a lot of restrictions from the school authorities as well as the parents, and teachers are not given much freedom to do what they want. I know. I'm also very much closely associated. I'm a member of the local management committee of the Atomic Energy Central Schools here in Hyderabad. So I have every day almost discussions with the teachers and the principal. So I know how much there is need. Will come back to me.
That's such a nice point actually, ma'am. I think everything squares down to education and how education is being taken around. So before I go to Professor MGPL Narayana, one thing, sir, is I think all of us have been looking around. So there's this study that I saw that in STEM education, primary, China is leading the world. And kids in the schools in China are far better in science and mathematics than anywhere else. And because you come from industry, and there have been other things that industry has an interface about with the governments. So what do you think is the thing which is being pushing China farther than us?
Can we discuss this at the time of discussion?
Yes.
Dr. Nag.
Just Mr. Nag.
Mr. Nag.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for inviting me for this event. It's really a privilege indeed. Actually, in fact, 2 weeks back, I'm addressing the teacher group like this under the IEEE banner. Actually, IEEE is the International Electrical and Electronics, engineers. Actually, that's the world's largest professional body, and India represents the second after the United States in terms of the membership that we have. Mostly these members are engineers. They join students as well, and then grow up. It's a voluntary organization. They contribute to the various engineering journals, magazines, and whatnot. And in fact, the most nicest things that you see around in technology are all out of Paediatrician. The discussion there is about teacher in service program. That means the teachers are mostly drawn from high schools, from different mandals around, and then we went as volunteers to say the importance of the science, because in the tender age they get the inspiration from the teachers that they are working with actually. So I collected that when I saw this teachers group here. They play a very important role in mending their ways in terms of getting inspiration from what is happening in the science and then put them to part, so that we take up such roles as scientists, engineers going forward. Now, coming to this today's specific topic, India versus China, it appeared to me like that. Even though we have comparable populations between these two countries, but practically the engineers, scientists that we have in India are far less compared to the production that is taking place in China. That will increase in quality, this thing, you know. That is the biggest difference that I noticed. You can see several statistics are available in terms of the population, GDP, how much they spend in R&D, all those things. In fact, we spend nearly 6% of what they spend in R&D. That really actually puts it out. But again, the quality of the work that we do is definitely different from the way that we see. One other thing is, in fact, having worked with some universities in the years actually, I have seen when it comes to engineering students, there are a lot of Chinese, even more than Indians actually. I have seen that actually. Not that these engineers are going to stick around after they complete their engineering course. In fact, they are encouraged to return back to their country. In fact, statistically speaking, 10% of the engineers that are produced, Chinese engineers that are produced in the United States, having completed their higher education. Only 10% of mine actually, 90% of mine. Why? Because there is the kind of encouragement that they get in their country. So now for the artificial intelligence, which is the kind of what microprocessors of the last century, artificial intelligence for this century. A very tremendous development is taking place. In China, I already put the roadmap saying that by 2030 they want to do world leaders. And further there is a roadmap saying that by 2022, and we should, we should be even with the best in the world, that is the way they have to be. And by 2025, they want to produce certain breakthroughs, and 2030, they want to be top. Anything that they plan to do, they do in a very mission critical way. It's not to leave it for chance. Most of the time, that's what we tend to do. But they don't leave it for the chance. In fact, we need to have the rigor that we show in terms of ISRO and defense establishments, which is what we need to bring to the regular scientific and engineering temple that we have to show various things. So this is very important. They have very plan for indigenous work. They have self-pride, self-reliance is what they want to do. More than make in India, make in China, they want to have design in China. In fact, that's the reason why we are seeing so many smartphone companies. In fact, when you ask that person before you buy a smartphone, they say, no sir, this is made in India, you will say. But actually, this is designed in China. Design scores more than the making. Making is just assembly of the components. In fact, China has got this way of not just solving a small problem, they look at the holistic nature of the problem and try to complete that whole range of things. For example, they produce, they do the chip design. Right? They do the best in that, and then they use those components into the mobiles that they produce. So it's not a simple solution of just solving a small problem. They have a way. And any field that you take up, that is the way they are coming up. One other very important thing is that I know that several companies, they work, I never work in China, but I work in ECIL or other places. But any company who wants to do the marketing business in China, it's important for them to transfer their technology. So they put tremendous pressure in terms of developing the ecosystem, that they want to see. So this is all some kind of a mission critical mode. It's a kind of an engine that is running without stop. Okay. It's very different. In fact, Sidharth already told at the beginning, in the 1970s or even up to 1990, we are the same. We are both of us and far. But then we developed that tremendously. In 2005, we noticed we don't have a single, these trains, super fast kind of trains. But worlds now they have the majority of the world fastest trains, technology-wise. They have in China. You keep hearing it here in France, they keep and all that stuff. Japan and all, but they have the such a tremendous thing going on. In fact, I think they run a super fast train between last time Tibet and the other place in Shanghai. I don't know where it is. 1,000 kilometers stretch. So I saw those places when I went to the Tibet, actually, Manasarvadam, this thing, 2005. There's a lot of electrical infrastructure that is being set up. So what is important is tremendous push from the government in terms of the infrastructure set up. And the people get motivated, there is something for them to achieve. And they are all, get the benefits. So I think that mission critical mode is very important. Like the fervor that we show in some of the projects that we do in ISRO, defense, and some of the public sectors that we see. In fact, of course, private sector is not different, but then we work for a different purpose. For example, companies like IT companies, mostly we develop software for export, most of the software. Somehow we don't turn, side outside. So there needs to be encouragement, there needs to be some incentives for these kind of things. I think this small thing that we stop.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Before I go on, I welcome Shri Utpal and Dr. Reddy to the panel. Thank you so much, sirs. And I also request my audience to kindly keep their mobile phones on silent mode. It disturbs when somebody is speaking. I request Dr. Tiwari to kindly place us to the songs.
Very good morning, my dear teachers from the school, fellow panelists, Dr. Sidharth. It's a very brilliant morning when we sit with the people who are going to make difference in our society. And for that, I must thank the organizers for giving this opportunity, where we will be trying to convey the message through the thread to our society who can make big transformation. So thank you. Few of the things which are important to be really seen, and they have to be seen in terms of the drivers. What really drives for doing science and technology in a place like India, which is called developing country in terms of the per capita income, and a society which is very different from the other parts of the world. The socio-economic condition of the country is very different, and therefore what really will drive, and one of the important things is the social security of the individuals. There is no system which really make difference in terms of having the assured social security in our society, and that's the reason that we keep looking for the possibilities for where we can earn enough to survive here till we are living. So if we see that as a major driver for our society to take the jobs in the areas which are relevant, then we must see that also, particularly in terms of why science and technology has not been taken as one of the main areas of the research. Things have been changing, and it is changing very fast. And the way, if you see the total number of the people employed in the public sector or the government 20 years back, and total number of people employed in the either their own companies or employed by the private sector is totally a turnaround. And therefore, the difference what is going to happen in coming future will also be phenomenal in terms of the requirement of the society, in terms of the requirement of the market. And therefore, if we try to learn how the countries like China, which has almost equal number of people residing, though in a 3 times more geographical area, and sometimes even more challenging than the Indian climatic scenarios. So one thing which we really need to see is that indicators, China 2000 something, 2004, 2005, and the difference what we see in last decade or so. So that is the important point where we must look into. So if we see in science, particularly technology, still I can say that the Mars mission is India sent to Mars. And here comes the bringing change in society, and I am sure that the school level teachers can help the society to ignite about. Another thing which in starting I said that the major driver is the job scenario, and if we try to tell to our school science students that see that job scenario after you get graduated is much more in science compared to the other areas, and also when you contribute in science and technology, you are not trying to get a position which will be useful for survival of yourself and your family, but parallelly you are contributing towards the broader goals, broader economic growth of the country and also globally. And these are the some things which can really attract children. And this I request that our school teachers can emphasize in their class through the different experiments that one side what you do is exciting, challenging, rewarding in terms of money, and other side you parallelly serve the society. And that will certainly, I think, will make difference. The other thing which is required for the policy maker to think about, what really made big difference in the investment, if we see the per capita publication, but coming out of it, it is still higher in our country compared to China. And you know, this is very much necessary to make our children learn about it. And this is higher because of our lower efficiency. Lower efficiency is not because we are not bestowed with our capability and capacity to deliver. Rather, we are living in a society which does not really make us realize that what we get, we should be able to return back to the society. And there is a need of cultural transformation of bringing ethical and moral values. And this is what I think we need to inculcate at the school level education and make our next generation realize that if you do learn something which can directly impact the whole globe, and secondly, if you learn and do it efficiently, it can impact much more. Like what we do, all of you are aware that it is not that the questions cannot be solved by most of the students, but the students who solve the question within the limited time period becomes the topper, becomes the qualifier in IIT, JEE and other exams. And therefore, we have to bring the change, transformation in our way of working, way of learning, way of doing things, and that's what I think is very important. I would also take 30 seconds more saying a few things about the institution from where I come from, and that's National Geophysical Research Institute working about how Earth evolves and how can we develop the new science and technology to know about the resources of the Earth for the betterment of our society. And these areas are also as important as what we do for whether it's healthcare or pharmaceuticals. So it provides three bigger challenges what we solutions like energy, we explored the mineral resources, the hydrocarbons and so on, and the other side water. So water is one of the area which connects all the sciences, biological, chemical and physical sciences, and also the you can say for sustenance of the life. And third one is the natural hazards. And therefore, I appeal through the teachers, you also encourage the students to take physical sciences as their area. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Before now I go to Dr. S. Tripathi, before I conclude, sir, I remember reading Jack Ruby, is a very famous anthropologist, and I remember him saying that capitalism is a Western concept, and how Oriental countries like India and China, without using much of the power or the rigor of capitalism, are now challenging the West. So that is something which I would also like you to expand upon in your discourse, sir.
Thank you for inviting me for this panel discussion. When I saw the topic, I was really excited because since last about a year, I personally as a geoscientist, I was working on conservation of our geological heritage. And in fact, if I say I was feeling jealous about China in that sense, I will not be wrong. So when I saw this topic, I thought it will be a good opportunity to share our views, because I belong to Geological Survey of India. Our main objective is to carry out geological investigations in various parts of India. And as said by earlier speakers, that up to 1970 or early 80s, India was far ahead, particularly in geosciences, from China. But post 80s, China has taken a big leap. And so far so that they have separate universities for geosciences, where we have in a simple department of geology or earth science or geophysics in some universities. They have full universities devoted for the study of, and our learned colleague, that focusing some sectors and developing in a systematic manner, that is the need of the time. Now, coming back to our geological field, nowadays if you go through the international journals, there are series of publications from China. And you see very little impact of Indian scientific contribution, especially fundamental sciences journals. So that is a big concern for us. Now geosciences, as we are since last 1 year I am telling that we are focusing on the conservation of our natural and geological heritage. Now China is a global leader. There is a concept of geopark nowadays emerged across the globe, where there is a developing geotourism, which is an integration of geological heritage, cultural heritage, ecotourism together, and making the local people involved in this aspect, and then having economical benefits out of those developments. So across the globe, China is having 43 global geoparks, very well developed geoparks, whereas India doesn't have even a single geopark. So where we have seen a lot of interest and enthusiasm in cultural heritage, conservation, ecotourism, biological things, but our geological heritage is not being conserved. So that was our, as a geoscientist, was our main concern, that we are unable to conserve, and now due to fast development in the last decade, now a lot of natural sections and important sections which have attracted global interest, like sections having record of dinosaur extinction in Gujarat, or some other similar sections which are inviting interest across the globe, being sacrificed on the name of development. Some railway lines are being constructed, or bridge, or other things, and then important sites being given for building and then industry and all. So that awareness is not there. Now, sensing this fact, with Geological Survey of India, we have initiated a program of Bhuvi Sambhag, where our geoscientists are going to nearby schools, or wherever we are going for field work or our geological investigations. We are interacting with the school children, so that we are able to sensitize, because telling it is nice that the young mind should be energized, but there is a barrier between scientific community and engineering community and the teaching community that need to be demolished. Scientists, engineers need to interact directly with the students, young minds. Then only they will be encouraged to take up the science as a subject in schools and later on, and then strengthen our scientific base. Further, as Dr. Tiwari was also telling, then taking up science, it is okay. Fundamental science, it is also okay. But what about getting a career and getting a job in science? Are we developing such jobs? That is the important thing. We can encourage our students, then they will go into fundamental sciences, and after doing MSc or PhD, they are loitering on the roads, that they are not getting good jobs. So that is also important. We cannot strengthen one part only. We have to strengthen entire system. Unless entire system is strengthened, we will not be able to gain anything. Because at the end of, if young student will see that a very senior scientist is coming and interacting with him directly, that will give a lot of weightage and interest, inculcate interest in the young mind. So as Madam has already initiated, that young minds needs to be energized and motivated towards taking up science, and we have just started that course also, so that at least if they are not going into science, taking as a career in science, their mind should have a scientific background. That is also important. Not that for career itself, entire career they are going for scientific science or technology as a career or as a job, but their mind should have some scientific background, so that when they interact with society, when they work in their own field, whichever it is, then that scientific temperament that is developed during their school days, that is very useful. So, thank you, and I will discuss. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. That was very good. Now I go to Dr. J.V.R. Sagar. Dr. Sagar, you come from the Defense Research and Development Laboratory, and our armies are kind of comparable, and then we've had face-to-face interactions, if I may use that word, with China in the past. And
sticks and stones.
with sticks and stones. Yeah. And we almost started as two very nascent oriental countries. So how do you see India and China both as countries and as superpowers?
Okay, first of all, good morning to all here, all my fellow panelists and all the teaching community in the audience. I would like to felicitate Birla Science Center on their Golden Jubilee celebrations, and I thank Dr. Sidharth for giving me an opportunity to speak on behalf of DRDL. I come from DRDL, which is a premier missile laboratory. So a lot has been spoken about China and India in recent years, and it's very apt. The reason is, we are neighbors and aggressive neighbors, competing neighbors, both willing to become superpowers, are keen to become superpowers, and a lot of comparisons are being drawn in recent times between both the countries, and we belong to the same continent. So before I talk about India, I would like to talk about the strengths of China, and then I will talk about the strengths of India, and then I will draw a comparison between both the countries. So if you see, in the 90s, the Chinese have invested heavily in education and research, and they started moving ahead very quickly. They actually started, if you see in 80s we were comparable, but in 90s they started going ahead. That is because of their investment in human resources. Today China is closing the gap with USA. In fact, they want to go ahead of USA. Of course, they are still lagging in quality, but in terms of quantity, China is beating US also. That's an important fact to note. Then another thing is, the Chinese economy is heavily driven by innovation, science innovation. In fact, they feel that they should be a world leader in as many areas as possible. That is because they all feel, everybody in China feels that maximum importance should be given to innovation at various levels. The other thing is, China concentrates more on its domestic growth. Whereas the Indian industry, especially the software industry, is export driven. Further to that, I would like to tell that China is projected to overtake US as the world's largest R&D investment nation by 2022. And the country is home to 25% of the world's R&D workforce. It's a big number. 25% of the world's R&D is a big number. And also, the number of foreign R&D centers which are there in China has increased in recent years. I think these are important inputs for the Indian industry also. We should encourage a lot of R&D investment from outside and try to take the technologies from them, the good technologies from them. That will make a big difference. And another thing is, China has got a national scientific think tank, that is called the Chinese Academy of Sciences, consisting of nearly 100 research institutes, 2 universities, and 11 supporting organizations. I think this is a very good initiative they have done. In addition to this, there is what is known as the Chinese Academy of Agricultural Sciences, Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, Chinese Academy of Medical Sciences, and all these are targeted research organizations. So these are the things which they have done in the last few years. Another important thing is, in China, technology is like a matter of the home. Everybody, even in a small home, will build a watch or smartphone or everything. It's a part of their life. It's a part of their culture. I think that is one thing that has helped China in bringing out the large numbers. Once you make large numbers, the cost also comes down. Today, cost is an important factor. If if you want to produce any product, you have to bring down the cost. Anything which is cheaper, lighter, or smaller or smarter is what is required. The consumer market is like that. So research is actually to be done it should be done to consider all these factors, and that is where the Chinese have done very well. Now, these are some of the advantages of China which we see. Then coming to India, what I feel is we have a very low cost model. Another advantage is we have a very good English speaking community. The Chinese are now putting a lot of efforts to teach English to their students. Now our students, our graduates they can speak well, and that gives a big advantage. They can interact with the global community. Another thing is, of course, the population of India is also boon technology-wise. If you see, the Chinese follow the one-child policy, whereas our population is actually giving us new scientists and technocrats, whereas it's a shrinking population in China. So that's an advantage you have to take, in fact. Then I would like to mention that India has a lot of S&T missions now. In fact, the government of India has recognized, put forward 9 major missions. One is artificial intelligence, electric cars, quantum technology, and sustainable growth. They are all mentioned, and these are very important initiatives. This is going to drive the country in the near future, because as you are all aware, now artificial intelligence is going to come up in a big way. If you see the Chinese again, they have worked on quantum technologies. In fact, they have implemented quantum communication through a satellite. They are working on quantum communication through satellite. They have already done the optical fiber version, but quantum on the satellite is also being done. So they are also taking all these steps to do what is known as moonshots. That way, India has also done very well. In fact, our Gaganyaan and our recent ASAT mission, which was meant to destroy a satellite, these are all moonshots. They are all quantum leaps in technology which India has achieved. And by doing these, building these technologies, we have got several other advantages. We could build up several other technologies which have geared up the industry for taking up other projects. So, if you see, I would like to summarize like this, that as far as India is concerned, science should not be taken as another job opportunity. It should be taken something as a matter of pride and passion, and that is where the teachers have got a very big role. The teachers have to identify talent at a very young age, and inculcate the spirit of scientific temper, and also make them feel proud of our achievements. Periodically, the teachers should show whatever India has achieved in recent times. The various R&D organizations like DRDL, atomic energy, space research, whatever achievements have been gained by the country, these should be shown to the students, and they should feel proud of it. And I think that is the best way we can generate the next generation of scientists. I am sure my co-panelists will agree that in the next 5 to 10 years, most of the senior scientists will retire. And then there should be no vacuum. We should have continuity of knowledge. And for this, the next generation of scientists should be built. And that is how we have continuity in growth. And another thing is, I am surprised that when every year we see the IIT JEE results, the top 100 or top 500 students opt for engineering. Why don't they go for basic sciences? I think that's a question we all have to debate. It's important that the top brains in the country go for basic research, because basic research will fuel our future. A lot of effort should be put in this direction, and I'm sure everybody will agree that we need to do more to work in this direction. So with this I conclude. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. It's very informative. Now I'm going to Dr. Shri Utpal Singh. He's the General Manager of ECIL, he's the Strategic Economic Division Head. Singh would like to talk about how India and China as two countries have been working against each other, together, in friction, without friction. How do you see it?
Good morning to my panel members, students, and pranam to teachers and all the gurus of India. They have tremendous responsibility to
to propel India to number one, which we are going to be. I will start with a very simple thing. What is science? Science is knowledge in any area. And technology is the application of science in cost-effective manner. I am from Electronics Corporation of India Limited, and we have a very simple vision. From last 50 years, we are having a single vision, that is make India self-reliant in strategic electronics. So we started in 67, sir. We have completed our golden jubilee 2 years back. I congratulate you, sir, on your 50 golden jubilee year, the whole Birla community, Birla Science and Technology community. Now, the technology is, science is known to all the people. Like very simple, Department of Atomic Energy means fission. Fission is when nuclear breaks into two parts, the total two is mass of the total two nuclei are not equal to the one, and remaining thing is the energy. Same way fusion, sun is a fusion area where the nuclei is coming together and the total mass is less than the original, and that's why the energy is produced. This is very simple science known to everybody. Where is the technology? So technology is something it should be a controlled fusion or fission, and second thing is it should be cost effective. So India is having technology, ma'am is from NFC. We are having technology of PHWR, that is nuclear heavy water power plants. We are having that technology, and nowadays you are seeing when indigenous technology is available in India, everybody is coming to India for marketing their light water reactors at a very competitive rates. If we were not having the technology of PHWR, we would not have got these technologies from the developed countries. So one thing to the new youngest students, the strategic technologies are not given to any country at any cost. They have to be developed. We have to understand the important technologies. Whatever you see technology around you is a commercial technology. It will be available, but the strategic technologies will never be given. My esteemed colleagues nearby, Dr. Sagar is there. They are developing technologies which can never be received by India at any cost by any country. They will not give it to us. I am now a part of DRDL going to one of the missile tests on 17. That technology is the fourth country in the world which has developed the technology. We are manufacturers, but certainly the knowledge is from BARC and the DRDO. I am very much proud to say today, the best, the highest knowledge institutes are sitting in front of you. One is BARC and second is DRDO. Both people are represented here, and they are creating technologies which can never be given to India. What are technologies? Technologies can be agriculture technology, it can be biotechnology, it can be construction technology, it can be energy technology, it can be information technology. So we are talking since long that China is great in so many things. They are having hard technology. Hard technology means infrastructure is great. They have opened up their economy in 80s. We were late by 15 years. We opened our economy in 1991, and that's why they had taken a lead on us. But we will certainly catch them up. The thing is, they have invested heavily in the infrastructure. They are having many things which our panel, esteemed panel members have talked about, and certainly they have invested in the hard technology. But we are having the soft technology. Soft means knowledge. Whenever you see information technology and software, India is the leader. Due to, as Sir said, English speaking is one of the advantages we got. But certainly we are having the IQ, the brain is available with us. We are having the demographic dividend. We are the youngest country of the world. We are having tremendous youth which will produce the knowledge. One is this area, second, I think later Sir will speak about medical, maybe pharmaceutical. Pharmaceutical and IT is having similarity. Both are in IT, what is there? It is 1 and 0 and the brain. And remaining thing, we get huge amounts of money for this.
The input is very low. It is the human capital which is converted into money. Same thing is pharma. Their small molecules can cure a disease like cancer. So the capsule cost manufacturing will be very low, but the price we can charge is very high. So these are the technologies where India is really good. The difference is medicine cannot be made in 1 year, which software can be. So software are created and already we have shown our metal. But regarding medicine, it takes 10 to 15 years to prove it first on animals and on humans, phase 1 clinical trial, this trial, that trial, and ultimately we are successful. But India is at the cusp of it. We are having biotechnology now in the new future coming up, and India will do well in all these areas and even in the hard technologies in future. I will tell you the differences. The differences on R&D expenditures which people have talked about. Yes, China is spending heavily. We are having that weakness. Some data of two years back, they have invested $297 billion. That year, India has spent $16.8 million. As somebody said, we have 6% of their expenditure. Top 500 Fortune company, they are having 129. We are having 7. Productivity, there I think you people will have to understand, India is having very low productivity. How to improve, we will see upon it. GDP growth, we were higher, now we are coming down. But this is a temporary phase. We will certainly pass this phase and again go to our double-digit GDP growth rate, which is expected by India with having a huge young population. So, regarding the advantages of the technology, what has happened, industrial revolution has taken place. The first industrial revolution was the steam revolution, people may have studied. The second one was mass production. The third one was electronic and IT systems. The final we are sitting on the fourth revolution, which is cyber and physical system revolution. Here India has missed the first 3 buses, that is the reason we are standing where we are. But the last revolution now, we are in it. And we are going to we have to use this opportunity. That's why I started with saying pranam to teachers. The young students have to be informed. We cannot miss this bus. We cannot afford to lose this bus. What are these technologies? Every day you are hearing about it. These are the technologies, we are very strong at it. And you just, people have already talked about, I will just read them, and you people are in it. We will certainly achieve what we have started with. Robotics, artificial intelligence, blockchain, nanotechnology, big data analysis, quantum computing, Sir said about it, biotechnology, Internet of Things, industrial Internet of Things, 5th generation technology, additive manufacturing, 3D printing, autonomous vehicles. These are the things which we are listening every day. And that is the reason my people, my students are hearing it, they are entering it. We all are from government, I think we are sitting here, and government cannot create jobs. Somebody talked about job has to be created by the startups and the new private industry. Investments will have to come from there only. We people have given you the background. 35 years I have done my BTech in 1981 in electronics. From then we are hearing electronics is the sunlight industry. Where is the sun? But we have created the background. We have provided you the stepping stone. Now the young generation will have to take it up. I am not just about
I think that's a very interesting point that you made, sir. It's a very interesting point. And I really like the way you talk about GDP going to 2 figures. I really admire your optimism.
Actually, people may be thinking the panel discussions which we are seeing in televisions are different. Here people are too much sober. Panel discussions are the phone. So we have to do it shouting and fighting. Now I will come to just the last one of the very important point. We are talking about China. I can talk about China a lot, but the thing is the number one right now is also US, and we have to be like US. A lot of research has been done by Indian people. In 20-25 years we have studied what is there in US which we don't have. So we have come to the conclusion, sir, there are only three things in US which created US. One is they are having democracy. Number two, they think big. Number three, they have ease of business. Only these three things. India was not having big thinking. We were told to think small. I was told to think small when I was growing up, but I have not told my son to think small. We were small. By 25th day of my month, my father's salary used to be over. But it is not the case with me. So my son can think big. He is in a country of democracy. And the third thing is ease of business. Government have understood. Democracy is a great help. If we all understand the benefits of democracy and we behave like a democratic country. USA behaves like a democratic country. My government colleagues, I am myself from there, we don't behave like a democracy. Our problem is bureaucracy which is not understanding. It is not a British bureaucracy which we have inherited. It is bureaucracy of the country being paid by the taxpayers of the country. They have to see what is good for the country and clear the files at the earliest. This is the only drawback which is stopping my young generation to come up, and I think now we have understood it. Red tapeism will be cut, and in future India can why talk of China. We will leapfrog to become America, and they are afraid of us. Once we reach a certain level, there will be a reverse brain drain, and all the best people of India will come back, sir. Thank you.
That is a certain utopia I'm really willing to see. Dr. Reddy, your comments on how India and China are, especially because you come from medicine background, how healthcare primarily is looking to you.
Shubha Sabha. We have a great heritage. We are proud to be having a great heritage of knowledge. We were a great economic player once upon a time, until 250 years back. We have led the world for thousands of years. We have that brain. Where there is a will, there is a way. Because I am having a background from the health, from the government service, and now after retirement I am in the private as head of the department in Apollo Medical College. Previously I was the superintendent and director of the Institute of Child Health, Near Hospital, one of the largest children's hospitals in India. We have done a great leap forward as far as the thought process is concerned. We have big brains. We have big policy thinkers and policy makers. And we have made some strides in different areas. But as far as health is concerned, we have been lagging behind. The only two things which can make the human resource potential is health and education. These two sectors were totally neglected for the last 70 years. If you want to create a resourceful, full potential individual, these are the only two areas. If you see, 80% of our children are anemic, 40% are malnourished, 35% of the children are not being fully immunized. Dismal indicators as far as health is concerned. And one of the highest underfund mortality and highest neonatal mortality in the world. We are from the bottom 20, not from the upper 20, as far as health is concerned. Health expenditure per capita in India is only $238 per capita per year. When compared to the China, $3,500 per capita. USA gives almost $8,000 per capita as far as health is concerned. And from the GDP, our health expenditure contribution is only less than 1%, 0.7%. 6.37% of the big GDP of China gives to the health. They like the difference. Number one. Number two, We had plenty of policy thinkers, runners, good schemes, good programs. But we are lacking in runners, implementers. The thought is not converted into a deed. We have a knowledge, we have not applied it. So unless it is applied, it becomes powerless, the knowledge. The China has concentrated on the primary health. We have concentrated on the tertiary health. Preventive and promotive strategies are there in China. Only tertiary services after the illness is there to treat the illness is a priority in India. That is why big hospitals are there. The budgetary allocations in the primary health centers and the commissionate level are very poor and badly run. Wherever primary health centers are run very well to take care of the preventive and promotive health and care of minor illnesses, there we have had a march forward, like states like Tamil Nadu and Kerala and Goa. Our under-5 mortality is at 37. Under-5 mortality. China is 7. Japan is 2 per thousand. When we compare to our neighbors also, Bangladesh is 27, Sri Lanka is 9, single digit. It is not forward in science and technology as far as Sri Lanka is concerned. So what has gone wrong? Application has gone wrong. Runners are not there, implementers are not there, monitoring is not there, proper supervision is not there. We can do it if we can close that gap and prioritize ourselves to human resource potential of allocating and implementing in health and education. And dear friends, we have happiness index also, not only the economy, but happiness index also. All the science and technology cannot give total happiness. Always favored self-assertion over integration. Science is always competitive, not cooperative. Those who have got the science and technology, they keep it with their own cooperation and give it to the others. They keep it in their fixed deposit lockers, not to be present. Science is always favored analysis over synthesis. And rational knowledge over intuitive wisdom. We are the greatest one of the greatest wisdoms on earth. And that has not been taken into total consideration as far as science is concerned. And science is always for expansion, not for conservation. Science is always exclusive, not inclusive in all the matters. So if we can take the science and technology along with the nature, I think that will give the happiness index of the nation. The happiness index depends upon the good governance. The governance should be good. It should have a strategic wisdom. And at the same time, the prioritization should be there for the standard of living, eco-conservation, sustainable growth. So we have to change from policy planning to focus on implementation. We have plans. It starts from the center trains the states, trainer of trainers. From the trainer of trainers comes to the state, district trainers. The district trainers go to the primary doctors, they train the sisters, and then go to the Anganwadi, and then by the time this circle is completed, another plan comes, it becomes zero. That's what is happening in India, as far as health is concerned. And yes, we have always concentrated on the outside development, but there should be inside development. As far as the teachers are concerned, you know the holistic development of individual as far as your student is concerned. We are not simply going to make a dollar spinning machine. We are going to make a whole human being. The That's why human empowerment is very important. We have always concentrated in the health as concentrated on health providers. We are not concentrated on the health seekers. We have to give empowerment to the population to seek, demand health. We have always been the supplying side. We have not raised their volumes, raised their demands, raised their empowerment to seek for the help, because health is a state subject. The state is responsible for the total health of every individual in this country by constitution. Like British, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, where the health is a state subject. India is also health is a state subject. Taking this into consideration, empowerment has to be done. So in little experiment, because I am also involved with the education with the teachers. Because I am also the president of one of the headquarters schools of Saraswati Vidyapith School, Mandal project. That the headquarters schools are almost 500 schools in integrated Andhra Pradesh, total Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. And there are such schools, there are almost 2 lakh schools are there all over India. One of the largest educational organizations in the world. The best part of these schools is, along with the education, giving samskaras, value system to the individual. Nation first, family next, individual last. That type of concept has to be inculcated in the students in all the schools. Moral classes used to be there, ethics classes used to be there, they are non-existent now in other schools. What happens if that is the outside development will reach such a highly alarming proportions? It will create a crisis of social, ecological, moral and spiritual dimensions. So that is there, that is one of the assets of India, where we have to keep our spiritual, moral, social value systems which are there for ages with us when compared to that of China. We are a democracy. China runs on unitary system, command control system. No dissidents, no difference, no opposition. If opposition, rebel, concentration camp,
Tiananmen Square.
and put to death. So that is not there. Because unitary system is commanding. The labor is forced to do. No trade unions. No trade unions. No obstructions, no restrictions. Cheap labor. Manufacturing giant of the world. Even in the health sciences also. So we have the greatest asset as far as the health is concerned in other domains. The other domains is pharma industry has grown by leaps and bounds in India. It is one of the main bulk manufacturers for the whole world. Biotechnology also, we have grown fast forward. When we were young, around 30s, we used to take hepatitis B vaccine way back in 81. 800 rupees per dose. 3 doses. 2,400 rupees in 1981. The whole world used to depend upon a single company for vaccine. Hepatitis B, GSK. So when our country has started, especially in Hyderabad, HPV has started the recombinant technology in Hyderabad, the cost has been come down to 10 rupees per dose in 2005.
That's a very interesting take. That's a very interesting take.
And now, all the multinational companies have brought down their price to 100 at this juncture. And we have a basket of vaccines, almost all, except 1 or 2 we are not having.
Yeah.
Almost all vaccines we are producing. Hyderabad is the hub of vaccine production and is exporting to 70 countries of the world. And most of the WHO programs are run through the vaccine industry of the India.
That's a very interesting take, Dr. Reddy. Thank you so much. Before I open the house for questions, I'd like Dr. Sidharth for his comments.
Well, as we have teachers here today, I would like to share a few thoughts with you. We may say that we are the greatest and so on. The IITs are the greatest or the triple ITs. But consider this statistic. In the world, top 500 institutions, not one institution from India. That's a bit shameful. The next question which comes up, why is this so? For most Indians, that includes teachers, students and all, education is a profession. Like, you could as well go and build a house and make money. Particularly science and technology must be a passion. And it can be a passion with young people. They are very keen, they are very interested. And in fact, when the then President Obama came to India, he said the Indian secondary school system is ahead of USA. This is actually so because of the students. Dr. Jairam Ramesh, the famous minister of the last regime, his father was a teacher in IIT. He himself was highly educated. And he said that in IITs, there was a claim that this is the place where we are making Nobel laureates. He said no, not the teachers. The students are capable of that. The teachers are not able to give that spark to the students. And they make the study rather drab and dull. Somehow the student has to get done with it and get a degree. This is where teachers have a special responsibility to spark the interest of the students, and let's hope that the spark is strong enough to continue beyond the school graduation, because there again comes a socio-economic factor. They need a good job and so on. So the whole point is that even our education is a bit flawed. There are reasons. India is a complex society. You have reservations, you have all sorts of considerations which act as speed breakers. But if you insist, there is a mantra which comes from George Bernard Shaw. If it is worth doing a thing at all, it is worth doing it well. If you don't do something well, then you are wasting your time and the nation's resources and everyone else's time. Just getting a sort of a mediocre degree and then, yes, you get a job. But look, in India, let us forget Nobel Prizes, let us forget inventions. even innovations, which are a lower form of inventions, are very low. And this is because we are not able to inspire our young students. So these are a few words I would like to address to the teachers community. It is your responsibility to see that these things are engendered amongst the young people. A very good teacher can inspire a student, and later he can become an Einstein. So these things have happened, and that's your responsibility. It's a slightly different aspect. In China, we don't have this sort of a conflict, in the sense the students are given tasks and they are asked to do the tasks. So also the teachers, so also the scientists. And in the days of Soviet Union, it used to be said, Siberia, you will be sent to Siberia. Well, you have a similar thing in China. Only in India we pamper and preserve mediocrity. And that is why we are becoming a mediocre country. Thank you.
It is very well said.